Harry and Meghan's greatest fear has just come true. 4 years, they believed the prince title was untouchable, that family protects family, no matter the scandal. But this week, Buckingham Palace proved them wrong. Because the king has done the unthinkable. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is no longer His Royal Highness, the prince title, gone the Duke of York, erased Earl of Inverness, Baron Killerly, stripped, wiped clean. And that palace statement, it sent chills through every royal hallway. His Majesty the King has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. The King and Queen's thoughts remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. Let that sink in. For the first time in royal history, the Crown has chosen a side, publicly. This wasn't tradition. This was damage control, and behind the polished wording, there's chaos. Because this move wasn't planned, the IT was rushed. Panicked. Royal insiders say something big is about to explode at a revelation so dangerous that Charles had to sacrifice his own brother to protect the institution. How do we know? Because Andrew's profile is still live on the royal family website. If this were a coordinated effort, it would have been wiped before the announcement. Instead, the statement went live while the cleanup was still happening. That's not strategy. That's fair. And the whispers inside the palace say the order didn't come from the king alone. Prince William had reached his limit. He'd watched his father stall. He'd watched Andrew show up at events like nothing happened. And he knew the public's patience was gone. A senior palace insider summed it up perfectly. William told the king, "This ends now." The heir to the throne forced his father's hand. He demanded that Andrew be stripped of everything. Titles, estates, privilege, even his home. After 2 decades at Royal Lodge, Andrew's been served formal notice. Pack your bags that you're moving out. Your new residence will be a modest house on the Sandringham estate. But the pressure didn't stop there. Emily Maitlis, the journalist who destroyed Andrew in the infamous BBC interview, revealed something stunning. There's a question over whether the princesses are being asked, "You've got to get your dad to move out." That's not a polite request, that's a royal ultimatum. Beatrice and Eugenie were given the message directly. Convince your father to go quietly, or there will be consequences for you. And that's when everyone realized this isn't just about Prince Andrew anymore. This is about precedent, because if the king can strip his own brother of everything, no one is safe. Not even Harry, not even Meghan. Because now the royal family has shown the world, titles are not protection anymore, that they are privileges. And privileges can be taken back. This wasn't just another royal scandal. This was a moment the monarchy drew a line, and the Sussexes just found themselves standing on the wrong side of it. The princesses are being used as leverage. Their titles, their status, their entire royal existence hangs in the balance, and they know it. Beatrice and Eugenie are still princesses for now, but that protection only exists because William allows it. And this week, he just proved he's willing to take it all away. So, what did they do? Word inside the palace as they went to their father, terrified. They begged him to leave Royal Lodge before it was too late, because if he refused, William would not only evict him, he'd drag them down too. For Andrew, that wasn't a choice. It was a threat. His daughter's futures were suddenly on the line. This wasn't diplomacy. This was Prince William flexing raw power. And the message was loud and clear to the entire royal family. The future king isn't protecting anyone who damages a crown, they're protecting one thing only, the monarchy itself. Now, we've talked about William a lot, and we all know the king's health has become a growing concern. Charles is battling cancer, and that means William's influence is stronger than ever. Is not waiting for the throne. Is already steering the ship. So, why now? Why strip Andrew after all these years of quiet protection? 3 things happened at once, and together they created a perfect storm. First, Virginia Giuffre's memoir just dropped, with devastating new allegations. The details are so explosive that palace lawyers have reportedly been in crisis mode for weeks. Second, leaked emails show Andrew stayed in contact with Jeffrey Epstein far longer than he admitted that he lied about cutting ties, and now there's evidence, hard, irrefutable proof. Even the old Mail on Sunday photo resurfaced, the one showing Andrew with Virginia Giuffre, and people haven't forgotten the whispers about Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's association with Epstein. Those connections have come roaring back into the headlines. Third, a video went viral. King Charles being heckled in public. A protester shouted, "How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you asked the police to cover up for him?" That clip was everywhere. Millions of views, brutal comments, and a tidal wave of outrage, Parliament started murmuring about a possible royal debate. Scotland Yard reportedly considered reopening their investigation. The walls were closing in, and fast. Charles had to choose between his brother and the survival of the monarchy. He chose the crown. But here's the twist. Sources say William gave him an ultimatum. Behind closed doors, he told his father, "Strip Andrew's titles, or I'll make it my first act as king." Charles caved that he didn't want to be remembered as a king who protected a disgraced prince. So he became the king who punished one instead. And when Harry heard the news, insiders say his stomach dropped. He genuinely believed titles were sacred, that being a king's son meant permanent protection. He was wrong. Because now, the precedent is set. If the monarchy can erase Andrew's title, they can erase anyone's. And that realization has shaken Harry and Meghan to their core. They thought Andrew's situation was unique, but the palace just sent them a message. No one is untouchable anymore. They thought Harry's position as Charles, their son, made him safe. But Andrew was a queen's son, and even that didn't save him. The last time a British prince was stripped of his titles was in 1919. Over 100 years ago. That's how rare this is supposed to be. Harry thought it would never happen again in modern times. He thought wrong. Friends of the couple say Meghan has been calling her team non-stop. She's panicking, asking if there's anything they can do to protect their titles. The answer? Nothing. If the king decides to strip them, no one can stop it. Not Parliament. Not the courts. Not even William. Because when it comes to royal titles, the monarch's word is law. Sources claim Harry tried to call his father. No answer. He reached out to William. Silence. The family has completely shut them out, and now they are sitting in California, watching their worst nightmare unfold in real time. But here's where it gets darker, because Meghan has been caught red-handed, violating the 2020 Sandringham Agreement. Remember that deal? The one where she agreed never to use Her Royal Highness. She signed it, she accepted it, and she broke it. A luxury gift basket sent out last year was labeled, "With compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex." She posted a letter from Ukraine's vice president addressed to her as Her Royal Highness. And instead of correcting it, she embraced it. The last time a British prince was stripped of his titles was in 1919. Over 100 years ago. That's how rare this is supposed to be. Harry thought it would never happen again in modern times. He thought wrong. Friends of the couple say Meghan has been calling her team non-stop. She's panicking, asking if there's anything they can do to protect their titles. The answer? Nothing. If the king decides to strip them, no one can stop it. Not Parliament. Not the courts. Not even William. Because when it comes to royal titles, the monarch's word is law. Sources claim Harry tried to call his father. No answer. He reached out to William. Silence. The family has completely shut them out, and now they are sitting in California, watching their worst nightmare unfold in real time. But here's where it gets darker, because Meghan has been caught red-handed, violating the 2020 Sandringham Agreement. Remember that deal? The one where she agreed never to use Her Royal Highness. She signed it, she accepted it, and she broke it. A luxury gift basket sent out last year was labeled, "With compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex." She posted a letter from Ukraine's vice president addressed to her as Her Royal Highness. And instead of correcting it, she embraced it. Screenshots of these violations have been circulating online for months. Royal watchers have documented every instance, and guess what? So has the palace. King Charles has been turning a blind eye, but William is furious. He's watching Meghan casually use a banned title, while his own uncle just lost every single one of the hypocrisy burns. And William's done tolerating it. According to insiders, he's already preparing the framework, the documents are drafted, the legal language finalized. All he needs now is a crown on his head, and the moment that happens, he's executing the plan. A royal commentator said it best. Harry and Meghan are next. Because this was never just about Andrew. Andrew was a test case, the pawn removed from the board to clear the path for William's real target. William sees this as his chance to modernize the monarchy, to protect its image, to cut the dead weight, and in his mind, Harry and Meghan have become exactly that. A senior palace aide summed it up quietly but clearly. Letting them keep royal titles while they profit from attacking the institution undermines everything we stand for. William isn't chasing reconciliation anymore, is chasing restoration. And in that pursuit, Harry and Meghan are no longer family, they're liabilities. And in the new monarchy taking shape, liabilities don't survive. The Andrew situation gave William exactly what he needed, a precedent. It proved to the public that titles can be stripped. It proved to Parliament that the palace is finally willing to act, and most of all, it proved to Harry and Meghan that they are not untouchable. So what happens next? William is moving his family to the Windsor estate. He doesn't want Andrew anywhere near them. Beatrice and Eugenie get to keep their titles, for now, but insiders say that might not last under King William, because George, Charlotte, and Louis are being raised with a completely different mindset than Harry ever was. William is teaching them that titles aren't birthrights, they're responsibilities, that privilege must be owned, not assumed. Harry's dream of reconciling with his father? Crushed. That bridge isn't just burned, it's been blown apart. William has made his position clear. The moment he becomes king, everything changes. Royal experts predict the announcement will come within the first month of his reign. Some whisper, the first week. Because William wants to set the tone fast, or he wants the world to know that his monarchy will be smaller, stricter, and unshakably accountable. The writing's been on the wall for years, but Harry and Meghan refused to read it. They thought California gave them immunity. They thought distance meant safety. They were wrong on both counts. The precedent has been set. Misbehave, and you lose everything. That it doesn't matter if you're the king's brother or the king's son. The crown comes first. Always. And Harry and Meghan have just learned that the hard way. So now the question isn't if they'll lose their titles. It's when. William is already in position. The framework is ready. The plans are drawn. All that's left is a coronation. But here's the real question. When that moment comes, will Harry and Meghan fight back, or will they finally accept defeat? Drop your prediction in the comments below. And if you think William's doing the right thing, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe, because the next chapter of this royal war is just beginning.